Hello, this is Rabbi Levin, and we're right outside Maimonides Hospital for our second in a series of exposés about what Maimonides is and isn't doing for our Orthodox Jewish community. In my hand, I'm holding a sound meter, a decibel meter, the same type of meter that was recently used by an EPA inspector that came down that Maimonides is way over compliance level in the sound that they're bombarding neighbors. But there's a double standard. Let me explain to you first that people are now starting to allege that Maimonides are baby killing. In addition to that, they're accusing Maimonides of being slumlords and not caring and being anti the Jewish community, poisoning the Jewish community. I'm going to check out these three allegations with you right now. Allegations have any feet. Here, you can see these nettings. These nettings are to prevent light from the Maimonides garage from affecting across the street, which is their hospital. If you look down the block, you know what that stack is? That stack is a muffler. It's muffling all the noise from the garage, because if you look down the block below the stack, you see glass windows and an entrance, endoscopy operating suite, which is a garage. Okay, so they don't want to poison their own people, so they have this stack that's venting their toxic fumes as well as the noise from the garage to a safe place outside. Now, if you follow me, we're going to see how Maimonides treats. Let's see how Maimonides treats the rest of their people. Let's first look at this garage here. Can you show us the garage? We're walking rapidly towards the Maimonides garage, and you're going to see that they have netting, a certain amount of netting for the lights here as well. However, as we get to this gated area in front of us, the gated area has these huge air conditioners. Listen to the roar of these air conditioners. The decibel level was unbelievable. The whole ground is shaking. Look across the street now. Follow me across the street. Across the street here, people live. They're constantly affected. They can't sleep at night. Of these things. There should be something here, a brick wall. This should be muffled. The sound should be dealt with. But it's not. Right next to this, we have another roaring inferno here, roaring sounds. Let's look down here. You see that little blue thing at the end? That's a feeble to try to stop the shaking, the actual ground from shaking. If you would look carefully, you'll see that there are different splits in concrete because of the constant shaking of these machines, which affect the quality of life. Around the corner, we're going to see how Maimonides deals. Okay, right over here, you see they put this shading here to stop the light because it's the front of their main entrance. Let's continue. Look down this block here. Here we see, up there's no shading, there's no netting, nothing to prevent the light from hitting people. By the way, around 20 minutes ago, we found that these lights were all on. It could be that somebody saw us coming and say, shut off these lights. The lights are working during the daylight and they're not on at night when they should be because somebody hasn't fixed their Shabbos clock. Look over here, you'll see this muffler. This muffler was people, the EPA, So immediately, after ignoring the complaints for months, when the EPA came down, they immediately put down a muffler. You know what's coming out of that pipe? Two things. Tremendous noise from the garage that's being somewhat muffled, and also from the operating room deep below the garage. It's suctioning out all kinds of toxic waste, like when the dentist takes care of you. A dentist takes care of you to suction out the waste. That waste is being suctioned out and it's being shot into the street. People who are living across the street over there, right across the street, they have to keep their noise because of the toxic fumes. Maimonides doesn't care. No netting. Look at that large vent over there. They couldn't care less about shooting stuff out to the people that live across the street. Let's talk a little bit about them being a slumlord. They took over 200 houses in the last several decades. But they're like a slumlord who doesn't care. They have no responsibility to their neighbors. Unlike Methodist Hospital. Methodist Hospital gave back parking according to newspaper reports in the Brooklyn newspaper and the Daily News. Methodists made sure to vent things like this so that they shouldn't affect the people. But not Maimonides. What do I mean when I say that Maimonides is being accused of being baby killers? Well, it's not me saying it. This is a book by Julie Salman, Maimonides. Let me read to you what she writes. First, we'll start with their anti-Jewish attitude. A doctor by the name of Kathir Su. I hate to say this, it's horrible for me to say right now, but I'm going to say it. I have lived around the world. Since coming to Brooklyn, I've become, believe it or not, I shouldn't even say this, I've become a lot more prejudiced. I actually feel bad sometimes. I say, how did I come to this? People he doesn't. Orthodox Jews, he says. Maybe, he nods, they became so demanding and are actually so derogatory when they speak to you that you think. Remind me again, why should I help you? In other words, this doctor is upset that the children and grandchildren of the Orthodox Jews who with their blood and sweat founded this hospital, he's upset with the fact that they're asking for good service and they're careful. They don't trust the doctors and nurses automatically to save their loved ones and they want to be on top of things. And then we have the baby killing. On page approximately 242 of the hospital, you see that Dr. Minkoff, the head of obstetrics gynecology, is pushing partial birth abortion. In Minkoff's view, Maimonides has an ethical obligation to offer legal abortions, even if it offends someone on the nursing staff. Here we find Carol Kidney telling him at a meeting, the nurses don't want to do this. They're offended. This is like akin to murder. Then we have Marcel Bieberfeld saying, maybe so few doctors do this because they don't want to do it either. Minkoff says they don't want to get shot. There used to be more of them, but they don't want their homes to be picketed or shot. Yet Minkoff says we can't force the nurses to do it. They don't want to. Here comes Marcel Bieberfeld, who obviously hadn't had breakfast yet. Listen to what this yid says. Isn't that a slippery slope? In other words, to allow the nurses to say no, but they don't want to do something which they consider to be resicha. So all of a sudden there's a role reversal. Minkoff is saying we shouldn't force nurses to commit partial birth abortions. And Bieberfeld, the Orthodox Jew, is saying maybe we should. In conclusion, the jury finds that yes, they are doing baby killing. No Catholic hospital will do this. Yes, they are slumlords who couldn't care less about the people who live around here. And yes, it's time for us to do something about this. And I think what we should start to do is to call Derek Goins, the vice president. Call Derek Goins at 718-283-8288. 718-283-8288. Be a responsible neighbor and stop being a slumlord.